packed your bedroom. We stopped counting the days, lost in the rhythm.
So as we settle into the 37402 zip code on this Unzipped show, we're going to take you back a little bit to 37405, because if you've ever spent time in downtown Chattanooga, no doubt you've been to either the Big Chill or Scotties on the River, both the children of Scotty Bowman, who joins us now on the sofa. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
Big Chill came first.
The Big Chill came way first. We opened in 1997, so come June of 24, we'll have been open 27 years.
So it's hard. I mean, I'm going to take us back to the other half hour with the 37405 zip code. For anybody new to town, it's hard to believe that once upon a time, the North Shore was not what the North Shore is now, but that means you predate the aquarium, you predate Coolidge Park and the carousel. You were there from the beginning.
We were in the 37404 zip code for 17 years, though. We lost our lease there and had to move across to North Shore, and it was up and coming and starting out, you know, and it was a tough decision for me to make. I really thought I needed to stay in the heart of downtown, but moving over to the North Shore has been an amazing move for us.
It's interesting for you to talk about the heart of downtown, because when Mark and I were talking at the Lookouts Stadium, one of the things he would talk about is that 37402 zip code, which is where Scotties on the River is the entertainment district. So the heart of downtown is shifting.
It is. It is. At one time, the 404 area, the 400 block of Market, the Big Chill and Grill was the first restaurant bar on that block. I remember back then we didn't even have sidewalks. Wow. They were redoing all of that and would always interrupt the business in order to make the streets better and everything. At one time, we didn't even have a light pole on our block. Yes, we were the very first ones, and Taco Mac and some others came after us, but we were the first one on the block. It was dark. We stayed open till 3 in the morning. We had to call security and police officers to walk our girls out to their cars because it wasn't quite safe back then. And plus, we had no street lights.
Right.
So they finally got us some street lights in.
Well, I want to talk about Scotties on the River a little bit, because first of all, we're a boating community. So boy, did you sell it up right, because if you're on your boat, head on over.
Oh yeah, yeah. Scotties on the River was an amazing find for us. We bought a ground lease from the city, and of course TVA had to be involved with what we had to do to build that restaurant. Us and the boathouse are the only ones on the river. Somebody else was looking at the property and they backed out, and I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but they're in Dayton, and they were going to come up here and build another one. They probably found it was very difficult in dealing with the city and TVA in order to get all of that taken care of.
The menu is so good, both places. At the Big Chill, it feels like you're eating at home in a way.
Home style for the Big Chill.
It's great.
Scotties on the River, steak and seafood. I wanted to elevate that a little further. We like to think of ourselves as casual dining with an upscale menu.
Are any of the recipes yours?
Yes, a lot of them actually. Mine and my chef, Allison Smith, who's done an amazing job. She's been with me since the very beginning.
Okay, so tell us, if you're going to make plans now to go to Scotties, do you have a favorite item on the menu?
Well, I love the she crab soup. That is my recipe. We used to sell it at the Big Chill. And a lot of my friends would ask for it, especially. We only did it on specials, but we carried that menu over, and Allison improved it, and it's an amazing soup. And we get a lot of compliments from people out of town.
Okay, forgive me, because things were different during COVID, and now it's back open again. Do you take reservations at either restaurant?
We don't.
I didn't think so.
We try to get a heads up. You can give us a heads up, or you can do a call ahead, and we'll put you on the sheet for it. Reservations became very difficult after, especially holding a table, because what you have to think about is you can't seat that table up to 2 hours before, because it's such a casual and still upscale menu that sometimes people take up to 2 hours to eat. So you have to hold that table for the entire time.
So I've never talked to a restaurant owner where we talked the business side of things, but you have to know, you have your thumb on everything you do.
Yes, I do. Well, I do a lot of my own taxes, my own payroll. I do my own scheduling, so I do have my hands on a lot of things. Not like they used to be. My hands were actually on the food cooking. Yeah. But I always felt trapped in a position where I would have to either work the line or be the manager on duty or be the bartender. And once Scotties on the River opened, I stepped back from all that and started doing more the administrative side. So I always did both, and it was extremely difficult.
Where I'm setting you up is for your newest project, and that's the launch pad. And before you talk about it, I want to see if I have a story right. You told me once.
Okay.
Years ago, John Lupton, was it John? Jack Lupton, sorry, came to you and gave you, did a favor for you.
He did. He did an amazing favor for me.
And you never forgot it, and you pay it forward. Seems like every chance you get to the launch pad is how I'm going to set you up.
Okay.
Talk about it.
Okay. Well, the launch pad originated kind of out of my brain. I have 21 years sober now. And when I first got sober, Big Chill had been around for 5 years, and I had to kind of accept the fact that I may not be able to continue the Big Chill because it was more of a bar atmosphere, and I didn't know that I was going to be able to do that job without drinking alcohol. So I kind of had to accept that fact, but it turned out that I just worked hard, and the Big Chill turned around, and we started doing really great. And I was able to save money and subsequently help open Sing It or Wing It, which I'm no longer a part of, but and then open Scotties on the River. But Jack came to me and he asked me several times, you know, what was wrong with me when I was in an active addiction. And I had to tell him, you know, because I owed him a lot of money, and you know, he wasn't really worried about my money. He was worried about me. So what the most amazing gift, even more than loaning me the money to open Big Chill originally, was that he paid my insurance for the next decade. That insurance, 3 months after the date that he asked me if he could help me, paid for me to go to treatment, and I've been sober ever since. So that was really the most amazing gift. So in 2018, I had this old rental house that I'd owned since '07. It was dilapidated. I couldn't keep it rented. And I just decided, I was like, I'm just going to tear it down and open up a sober living house. So I tore it to the ground. It's over in Highland Park. Built a 5-bedroom, 3-bath house out of my pocket, and put 8 women in recovery in there, along with 1 resident manager who had 5 years sober at the time. Since that time, in only 3 more years, we've been given other amazing gifts from a person in the city who gave us enough money to build 4 more houses. I had the lots already, so I've donated those lots as we built on them, and we have built 5 sober living houses for women recovering from alcohol and drug addiction on the same block. We've actually fenced in the backyards together so that they can do community together and do cookouts in the backyard. We have a fire pit for them. The barn nursery has donated plants, and we've got it beautifully landscaped. But the total number of beds that we have today is 50.
Wow. All because it's like that ripple effect of life, right? And you had the brains and the heart to seize it. When you and I began talking off camera, I was talking about how kind you are, and we were complimenting each other, I guess. But we have been saying that kindness is where the world is going.
Yes.
And you're helping to usher that in. So go eat her she crab soup. That can be a start. Go have some fun at Scotties or at the Big Chill. Either zip code, she's got you covered. But this is part of the focus of Unzipped, just to let you see not just what to do, but the stories behind what you're going to do. So thank you, Scotty Bowman.
Thank you. Thank you so much.